Good afternoon. We would like to present with you with the place value map that you will be receiving for your child for this next few standards that we're going to be talking about. You're going to receive maps that are taped together just like this. Inside of those you will find base 10 blocks, you will find digits, and you will also find a spinner with the greater than, less than, and equal to sign for your children to cut out. So our primary focus this time is going to be making two numbers and comparing those numbers. So I'm going to make a number here, 2 hundreds, 4 tens, and 1 1. And then on this side, my number is going to be 5 hundreds, 0 tens, and 3 ones. So I'm going to compare the number 241 to the number 503. Before they compare these two numbers, we'd like them to use their base 10 blocks to make these two numbers so that they can actually see what these numbers, how they're represented and the value of those numbers. So we're going to make 241 here, and then we have 500s here. You'll just kind of have to squeeze these in here. 0 tens and 3 ones. Now you'll notice when you get this stuff home tomorrow that these base 10 blocks look a lot like ones that you've had, and so do the digits. So if you need extra, you can pull from those that we've already sent home, or you can send your child's teacher a note, and we'll be glad to send you extra copies of those if you feel like you need them. So once the students have made the standard form and they've made the base 10 model, they're going to use a greater than, less than, or equal to sign in between the two numbers. So just by looking at the model, they should quickly know that 503 is bigger than 241. And we want to talk to those students about looking at the first number, which is the hundreds place, because its value is the biggest. If this 5 is bigger than this 2, then this is your biggest number. If they have the same number in the hundreds place, of course, then they're going to go to the tens place. And we've talked to them about that, and this hundreds place is the one with the most value. So that's what you're going to look at when you're comparing those two numbers. So they will put their sign here for greater than. And then what we'd like for them to do is use a spinner. They've got a spinner, and they are also getting a paper clip attached to this. And they're going to spin, use a pencil, and spin. So we have plus 5. So what they would do is they would add 5 to their number, and they would change that number, 3, 4, 5, and so they would change this number to a 6. You have to bear with me as I get these numbers out. And then we want them to spin again. And this one says take away 10. So they're going to know that they have to take away a 10. So here, this is a good little lesson. I'm glad I spun that, because here they don't have a 10. The kids are learning to take one of their hundreds and break that 100 down into 10 tens. And so they would gather up 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tens, and they would put those there in its place. And then they could take that 1 10 away like it asked them to. So once they took that 1 10 away, they're going to go back and they're going to count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now they know they have 9 tens, and they also have to know that they took that 100 and broke it down into 10 rods or 10 tens. So now they have 493. And then they're going to go back and they're going to compare those numbers, and they'll see that they still have a bigger number in the hundreds place here than they do in this number. So this number is still greater than. And so we would like for them to spin and just compare those numbers and change them. When they do take the 100 away or the 10 away or the ones away, we want them to also change their number in standard form so that they can see if it's 10 less, then they also have 1 less 10 in the tens place. If it's 100 less, they have 1 less flat there, and if it's 5 more or 5 less, of course they're taking away from the ones place. So that's something that we want them to get a visual image of as well. If they continue to do this, this will help them with their skip counting by 5s, 10s, and 100s as well, and you'll see that that's one of our standards for this time at the top. So if you could just have your students to make 2 numbers, compare the number. We want them to model those numbers, of course, so that they can know if it's greater than, less than, or equal to, and give them a visual of that. And then we want them to spin. They can maybe spin, you know, for each number, change it, and then they can make themselves a new number and do that again. So if you would just continue to do this each night, and if your students have mastered the mats that we've sent home so far, and you feel like they know it and they've got it, you can just tuck those mats away and move on to the mat that you see that they're struggling with the most at home. We're leaving this up to the parents and their discrepancy, because you see them work with these models each night and know what they really need the most help on. So if you'll just give us a hand on deciding which mat suits your child the best, that's what we would like for them to be working on. Thank you.